DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health. At Merck Animal Health, we're shaping the future of animal health with pioneering science, connected technology, and insights-driven solutions to bring our customers an unparalleled portfolio of choices to improve cattle care and operational efficiency. We support you and your legacy by helping you meet the challenges of today with the innovations of tomorrow.
Hey folks, we're glad you joined us today on DocTalk. We're going to have a special guest. Dr. Ashley Edwards is going to be with us. We are going to be talking about high input and low input management of cow herds. If you own a cow herd, you need to tune in, listen up. We're going to have a great show today.
They're here, they're hungry, and they can't be stopped with ivermectin. Choose Safeguard when you deworm your cattle to take out resistant parasites like brown stomach worm, Cooperia, Nematodiris, and others. With Safeguard's efficacy, you can kill more resistant worms in your cattle, so you don't leave potential on the table. Consult your veterinarian for the diagnosis and treatment of parasitism. Then bite back at safeguardworks.com.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson, and we have a special guest. Dr. Ashley Edwards is with us. She is the State Beef Extension Specialist for Louisiana State for the LSU Ag Center, all over the state.
Correct, yes. Yeah, I do a lot of traveling.
It's great. Well, thank you so much. She is extremely busy. She is on the road, working with producers and just a wealth of knowledge. And we're here at LSU today. And we're going to get into some pretty cool research that you're being a part of, right?
So yes, I do. I think it's very applicable research, highlighting especially for our smaller producers, less than 50 head of cattle, but technologies that are proven and that are applicable regardless of your herd size.
Yep. And so let's get into the project a little bit because and kind of set us up as to kind of the background and why it's important.
Okay. So it's a very long title, but the easiest way of putting it is we were trying to look at technology adoption for small producers, again, 50 head of cattle or less, and how they can enhance sustainability of their operation. So again, taking some of these best management practices that have been proven, over the decades, but showing that our producers that are smaller, I guess you could say, those production practices work for them as well, and they can do so in an economical fashion.
Yeah, and I see it whether it's cow-calf, stock, or feedlot. There are no, as we've discussed and we'll discuss more, there aren't any small operations, but they're underserved.
Correct.
And getting the information that the corporate and larger operations receive from wherever is just vital to get that down to the level of all of our producers, regardless of how many head you own.
Right, and that's what I love about the beef cattle industry. I mean, what works best for me and my operation might not work best for you. And so we can take these different technologies. It doesn't have to necessarily be all the ones that we've implemented in this particular study, but you can say, okay, this is going to work for me this year, or I'll try it for a couple of years, and you can tweak and tailor based off of that.
Yep. So let's get into it then. Let's kind of talk about how you've set this up and what are some of the things that you're looking at.
Right. So on the cattle side of it, it was 3 production years. So the high input versus the low input. High input, artificial insemination, followed by cleanup bull. Low input, 75-day breeding season, just natural service. We did implants on the steers for the high input, no growth implants on the low input. Creep feeding on the high input, not on the low. We used body condition score to prioritize rotational grazing in the high input, continuous grazing in the low input. Both groups got ryegrass, but we added clovers to that mixture for the high input. And then the marketing of those cattle, the steers on the low input were sold at weaning. We did do a fence line weaning. And then after that, the high input, we do background. We're going to do a trailer load, sell a pot load of those following ryegrass season, backgrounding on those, stockering on that. And the replacement heifers. Yep. So we purchased replacement heifers. Half of the replacement heifers needed or purchased for the high input. The low input, we just develop our own.
Okay, so really looking at some pretty big management issues, and then as you said, applying the economics to it.
Yes, yeah. My the research associate that's been working with us at the research station, he's had to write down everything that he's done. He's very happy that this is going to be over with, but anything that he's done on either treatment group, he's written it down, and so we're going to look at it from labor and all aspects of the economic side as well.
Perfect. It's a great start. We've got the table set. We'll be back after these messages with Dr. Ashley Edwards.
In the livestock industry, castration is a common practice to ensure proper herd management. All methods are painful, regardless of the age of the animal. At Solvit, we could not ignore the clear industry need for better castration solutions. So we developed LidoBand, a novel lidocaine-impregnated elastrator, addressing the pain associated with band castration. It provides local anesthesia throughout the castration process. LidoBand, a small device that can make a big difference.
Hi, I'm Sydney Tuckwiller, and I'm a territory manager at Neogen. Today we will be discussing taking a tissue sample to send in for DNA analysis. Taking a tissue sample is as easy as tagging a calf. Taking a DNA sample for analysis is designed to be as easy and convenient for the producer as possible. Samples can be taken as a hair, blood, or tissue sample, but tissue sampling units are the recommended method. Here are 4 easy steps to collect a sample on your operation. First, choose which sample type works best for you. Second, order your sampling equipment, whether it's a TSU applicator, TSU tubes, blood cards, or hair cards. Then, collect the samples and send to either your respective association or directly to the Neogen laboratory, which works with more than 60 different associations. DNA will process for an average of 3 weeks, and then you will receive your results. You can collect samples at any time, but it is recommended to take them sooner, such as around birth, to allow time for the samples to be shipped to the lab and results to come back soon enough to have time to make decisions using the results. Genomics is an accessible technology that plays a pivotal role in cattle production to enhance genetic progress in a herd.
Thanks for watching Cattle Intel by Neogen.
Are you a cattle feeder looking to manage for a stronger and more profitable set of cattle? Look no further than Igenity Feeder. Igenity Feeder utilizes DNA to gain insight into your cattle's genomic potential, with the information to predict performance, quality, and economic endpoints for cattle feeders. Animals are scored and ranked in a simple format, driving more precise and accurate management decisions. Igenity Feeder gives you the power to predict days on feed, manage variability within lots, characterize carcass performance, and focus on metrics important to you and your operation. With the data provided, you will identify superior animals earlier and maintain high operational efficiency. Maximize your profit and optimize performance with Igenity Feeder.
When the ones who have your heart need your help, count on us for everything they deserve, delivered fast. We'll work hard for you so you can work hard for your dreams.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson here with Dr. Ashley Edwards. We're at Louisiana State, where Dr. Edwards is a beef cattle extension specialist for the state of Louisiana through the LSU Ag Center. Tremendous service to the producers of Louisiana and beyond. And you're in this research project. It's multiple coordination. Is it multiple state? Is it multiple regions?
It's all Louisiana. We are there's adoption rate technology looking at it. We're going to do a survey that will be multi-state. So Arkansas people, Mississippi people, Texas people, please complete that survey if you get it. But mostly focusing here within Louisiana, working with our agricultural economics department as well. So
awesome. So let's get into this, because they're comparing low input and high input management strategies for cow-calf operations. But before we do, one of the things you and I talked about was, when we have someone say, well, I'm not a big operator, I only have 30 cows.
They are our operators. That's the majority of the people that we work with realistically in Louisiana, and that number's growing throughout the United States as well. And you're just as important as somebody that has 1,000 head.
Yeah, and anybody that says, our average cow herd size, U.S., 30, 40 head. And when we go into operations and they say, well, we're not a big operator, just try to own 100 head today.
Right. How much money do you have in that?
My goodness. So these are all big businesses, and they all deserve this type of research and understanding. So I just commend you on doing that. Thank you. So let's start out at like conception rates and rebreeding rates and what you've seen as far as the cow repro management.
Right. So we're in the middle of running all the stats. But on pregnancy rates, again, it's 3 production years. Year 1 and year 2, pregnancy rates were much higher in the high input group than in the low. Actually, year 3, for whatever reason, I mean, it's production, it's applicable. So I'm not too embarrassed saying this, but we didn't have good AI rates. We don't know why we didn't have it. So we had good pregnancy rates still at the end, but for whatever reason, statistically, they weren't different from the low input.
But 2 out of 3 years.
2 out of 3 years it was, and next year it might be, things happen. And I guess that's why I like this project so much, is it is real world to show that. But what we are seeing with some of the other data that we're pulling is it's multi-generational. So one bad year, it's not going to mess you up completely. And we're seeing compounded effects, I guess I could say, from all these technologies year after year.
I think it's important to note that you have differences within years, because whether you're farming grain or whether you're farm cat livestock, every year is different.
Right.
Viruses going through herds, our national cow herd are different. Weather patterns, all the above are different. So I think it's vital to know that, well, it's not going to happen every time.
Right. And true, and we're seeing for our replacement heifers. Yeah. Our replacement heifers from our low input, they're not developing like we would want them to. They're not even reaching a breeding size. So what ends up happening is I don't have enough to put back into that low input herd. I'm left with open cows. So we haven't run the economics yet, but what does it cost you to run an open cow for the year? We know we're going to lose money from that just starting out before we even start looking at our steers and selling those.
Yep. So AI conception rates, overall conception rates, are they the same, or they were higher with the higher input?
So we did not AI the low input.
That's right.
So pregnancy rates year 1 and year 2, we just looked at the end of the breeding season. But we did turn the bull out when we started the AI protocol. And so with the lows, and then 2 weeks after AI turned it out, the cover bull out with a high.
I think it's really important. Your reproduction is better, and you have more opportunity to have bred cows the next year, because your replacement heifers in the low input don't make it.
Right. I'm comfortable saying one bad year from artificial insemination did not mess me up as a whole.
Yeah. So as we cover repro, as we cover heifer replacement strategies, obviously management matters.
Very much so.
Great. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to jump into more of the data on the high input and low input management strategies for your cow herd with Dr. Ashley Edwards.
I'm Jeremy McBride. I manage the ranch for Wilmoth's here in Southwest Missouri. Probably the biggest challenges in Southwest Missouri is the weather. That's where the Therapies has helped us. The last day we got through weaning, it was 65 degrees and sunshine, and the very next day it dropped to 35 degrees, rained 2.5 inches, which is very, very hard on these cattle. And we doctored 2 head.
The seeds of financial security today with United Patriot Coins Precious Metal Starter Pack, the Patriot Pack. Exclusive offer for our DocTalk family. Call now and secure your financial future. Strengthen your roots with silver and gold. Call United Patriot Coin today and ask for the DocTalk special offer.
Ranchers, looking to elevate your pasture management game? Turn to Heinen Brothers for expert aerial application. With state-of-the-art equipment and seasoned pilots, we deliver precision treatments right to your fields. From fertilizers to herbicides, Heinen Brothers has your pasture covered. Visit HeinenBrosAg.com to learn more.
When the ones who have your heart need your help, count on us for everything they deserve, delivered fast. We'll work hard for you so you can work hard for your dreams.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson with Dr. Ashley Edwards. She is the Beef Extension Specialist for the state of Louisiana through the LSU Ag Center. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It is great. She had to travel a distance to come to be here and early morning, and we're very, very grateful. She's extremely busy covering the state and surrounding regions. Wealth of information, and this project's just been great to talk about.
It's fun. It's been fun to do.
Yeah. So, high input, low input management. We talked about the cows. Let's start to talk about the offspring.
Okay. So, on the steers, we marketed for the low input. We did do a fence line weaning, so they were not balling when we took them, but we did take them to the local sale barn. Went ahead and got rid of them. Most of our small producers, maybe smaller acreage, potentially. We don't know for sure. But might not have the ability to fully background and stalker those calves. But we also wanted to look at what if they did, what if they had that opportunity. So on the high input, we did background them, stalkered them on ryegrass, and we're selling them from a statistics standpoint and feasibility standpoint, because it's a research project, we had to mock sell them on a pot load video auction. But we do have our superior rep come in and say, if you did a full pot load of these, this is what they would bring and what they would do. So.
Cool. So as you looked at weights and as you looked at production, what were some of the trends?
Right. So we were talking earlier, when we did implants and we did creep feeding for the high input, and we know that those technologies work, right? And so what I was mostly interested in is, what about those weights before we implanted, before we put them out on creep feed? And so I'm just calling it my pre-implant weights, but it was roughly day 60 on the average age of those calves. And those weights are significantly higher in steers and heifers on the high input than on the low input. So what we're doing with those cows is showing that we are seeing increased weights even before we start adding in some of these other technologies on those calves.
Well, you're probably, as you think about it, better colostrum, better milking.
Right.
All these things are going to lead to improved weight.
Correct.
And this is at branding,
right,
when you're weighing them.
And what we need to look at too, we have not done yet, but I want to look at calving interval. So if we get those cows bred a little bit earlier, again, we're doing an average day 60 weight. So those calves, have they, I'm making an assumption here, but have they had enough time or extra time, to put on a little bit of weight?
Yeah, I guarantee you're going to have more a better calving distribution in your high input than your low input.
I think so too.
But at the end of the day, if you're seeing an increase at day 60, we know that when we apply the implant and the creep feed, we're going to see a 15% increase in growth rates from that point forward.
Right.
So that's just going to be even that much more.
Correct.
When we go to wean and sell these critters.
Yeah. And again, I know we want to say high input's going to be better, and hopefully it will be, correct? Yeah. So these management practices work, but from the marketing standpoint of it, sometimes you need to sell at weaning. So what if you did implement all these strategies and you did still sell them at weaning? That's something else that I'm maybe a future project that I want to look at, not necessarily if you lack that ability to keep them and background them and stalker them and everything else, but what's it going to do when you take it apart and you sell them at the exact same time?
Well, it's $60 every 20 pounds. And folks, I'm telling you, with these management platforms that you're talking about, you're going to see these 20, 40, 60-pound increments in these calves.
And they're bigger at weaning. We know that. So even though we didn't sell them at weaning, we know those high input calves are larger at weaning.
And the good news is, regardless, we sell pounds.
Correct.
And so pounds are king.
It's nice when it pencils out like that.
This is great. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll do a wrap up with Dr. Ashley Edwards. You're watching DocTalk. We're glad you joined us.
When you spot BRD in your cattle, that's your golden opportunity to target infection and its associated fever with a single dose of Resflor Gold, the industry standard dual therapy. To learn more, talk to your Merck Animal Health rep or your vet and see label at resflorgold.com. Animals intended for human consumption must not be slaughtered within 38 days of treatment. This product is not approved for use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, including dry dairy cows.
Hey, I'm Clark Victory. I grew up right here on this little ranch near Chelsea, Oklahoma. roped and ranched all my life. A few years ago, I had an injury that created what they call a frozen shoulder. And after speaking with the surgeon in Tulsa, he told me that he could make my shoulder better if he did surgery, but he absolutely couldn't fix it. And I called Kansas Regenerative Medical Center. I did the stem cell replacement. By 12:30, my wife and I had lunch and was driving back to Chelsea. We work around here. Some days we work pretty hard around here, and my right shoulder doesn't get sore. It's like a baby's arm.
When it comes to treating BRD, you want a product that you can count on to get the job done at an affordable price. Macrocin by Bimeda delivers on both. A straight-shooting, no BS tulathromycin that does what it's supposed to do. End of story. You don't need to take our word for it, though. Go to macrocin.com for customer testimonials and head-to-head trial results. For your cattle and your bottom line, choose Macrocin.
Hey folks, for your firearm and ammo needs, for gun safes and much, much more, and to have it personalized, come visit us at United Patriot Supply outside of Seneca, Kansas. You can also visit us online at unitedpatriotsupply.com. Be sure to say that Dr. Dan and DocTalk sent you, and we'll see you down the road.
When the ones who have your heart need your help, count on us for everything they deserve, delivered fast. We'll work hard for you so you can work hard for your dreams.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson with Dr. Ashley Edwards. We're here at Louisiana State in Baton Rouge, where Dr. Edwards serves as the beef cattle extension specialist for the state of Louisiana through the LSU Ag Center, which if you haven't been familiar with the LSU Ag Center, you need to. Go to the web, take a look at it. Unbelievable information. This group of people they are influencing beef cattle production all across the United States. I use it. Every veterinarian's using it. It's awesome. So great work. Thank you so much. So when we think about extension, you know, and the land grant mission, you're doing the research, but now it's time to disseminate.
Correct. Yeah.
So how do you, as an extension specialist, get this information out?
So I get to work with our agents throughout the state, and over the last 5 to 6 years, we've really built our statewide extension program. So some of these programs are offered, you know, once a year, maybe every other year in one location for the state. But then there's a lot of our local agents that will also have same programs locally for them too, or different programs there. So a lot of collaborative work. We have a fantastic group of other specialists, Dr. Navarre with our extension vet, our forage specialists, all those that come in and help us put those together.
Okay. And so, you know, I think that this is something that producers, and we haven't really hit on this on the show, but using extension, getting involved with extension, because I think that you're walking past a wealth of information that, whether you know it or not, you pay for it, and you should use these services.
Right. Our boss always says, she was like, extension's known as the best kept secret. She's like, but I hate that because it means that we're not getting out there and we're not showing our producers, we're here for you, you know? So every county or parish in Louisiana is going to have an extension office there. Okay,
and so what are some of the special programs that you're doing through Extension now to help disseminate this information?
So historically, we've had our Master Cattleman program. We've had beef and forage field days throughout the state as well. Some of the new programs that we've brought on board within the last 5 to 6 years, a beginner cattleman. Probably my favorite one to teach. People that 10 years of experience or less, or no cattle at all yet, is kind of our target audience, but we've had experienced producers come through that. Then we have the advanced Master Cattleman. So Master Cattleman's a lot of classroom work. It's kind of like a bachelor's of science in 10 weeks, 30 hours, really fast. But the advanced Master Cattleman goes off of that, gets you some hands-on. We have artificial insemination schools. We have a pregnancy determination clinic. We have a grazing school. I mentioned the beef and forage field days. We have a Go Beef heifer development programs for producers, so they can send to one of our research stations and we develop heifers for them. An online beef brunch educational series there. So on YouTube, LSU Ag Center Livestock, and we put out news updates every other week on that. And I know I'm forgetting one more. There's 10. I think I counted 9 off, but there's a lot.
But I think, and this is what folks, I think you need to understand about why you go to these, why you attend them. I've watched these be put together, and the networks that people build by attending and being like-minded,
Right. Yes.
that are eager to learn.
Very much so.
They wind up being your calls outside of the extension, producer to producer, the rest of your life.
Right. You're right.
I see people exchanging notes on marketing, on costs, on bookkeeping, everything, because you build that trust and that relationship.
Yes.
And that is such a valuable thing that you provide that is often overlooked beyond the technical skills.
Producers get to teach producers. We bring them in and we use them too, whether it's through a panel or as a guest speaker, guest lecturer. So yes, very much fostering those relationships, not just with us, but with each other.
Being in the hallway.
Yes, exactly. At the water cooler.
Well, thanks for the great work. Keep up
Thank
the
you.
great work, and we'll look forward to seeing more results on the high input. And
Oh yes, very excited to get those out.
Great. Thank you for watching DocTalk. Remember, if you want to know what we do, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Always work with your local veterinarian. With Dr. Ashley Edwards, I'm Dr. Dan Thomson, here from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we'll see you down the road.
At Merck Animal Health, we support you and your legacy by helping you meet the challenges of today with the innovations of tomorrow.